There is one method that you can use to improve all areas of your English. This one method will help you expand your vocabulary, learn natural expressions, understand advanced grammar, improve your sentence structure, improve your reading, improve your writing, and even improve your pronunciation. And the best part is that this one method is fun and enjoyable. This one method is to learn using real-world content. For example, news articles. This is the way that English is used in the real world. So if you study news articles, then you will sound fluent and natural and professional. You will sound like a native speaker. And that's exactly what we'll do today. We'll review a news article together so you can improve all areas of your English. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started.
First, I'll read the headline. Artificial skin gives robots sense of touch and beyond. So here, of course, skin, artificial means that it isn't real. I'm sure you know this with artificial intelligence, AI. Artificial skin gives robots sense of touch. So your ability to touch, that's one of your main senses. And beyond. This is an important word here, adding and beyond. This means and more. So it gives robots a sense of touch and it does other things and as well. It goes beyond. It goes more than. And that's where this expression comes from in English, to go above and beyond. Have you heard this expression? Now notice the expression uses the verb go. This is the verb you need to conjugate based on the subject and time reference. And then you need above and beyond. This means to do more than expected. So if your boss says, wow, you went above and beyond on this project, that's a great compliment. Your boss is saying that you did more than expected. And remember, you need that verb go conjugated. So here we have the past simple, which is went. You went above and beyond. Now, I always try to go above and beyond for you by giving you more value, more content than you expect in a YouTube channel. So if you appreciate that or you agree, put above and beyond, put above and beyond in the chat. And one way I go above and beyond is by providing you with a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Now let's continue with this article and learn about this artificial skin. If you had to rank the most powerful sense, which one or which would you choose? It's very common to say which one, and one represents sense or whatever the group is. Which one would you choose? But you don't have to include the word one. Which would you choose? Notice the structure of this question. It's the second conditional, which is used for hypothetical questions. The structure is if, and then your verb is in the past simple. The next part of your sentence uses would and the base verb, which is the infinitive without to. So for example, if you went on vacation, because it's go on vacation and we need the past simple went. If you went on vacation, where would you go? Would, and then go is the base verb, to go, and then you get rid of to. So that's the structure. And this is just a hypothetical because you're not planning a vacation. It's an unreal situation. So why don't you answer that just for fun? If you went on vacation, where would you go? So you put your answer and I will put my answer as well. Do you have your answer? Did you put it in the comments? Say it out loud as well. Well, here's mine. I'd go to Tokyo, the first place that I thought of. I would is the contraction I'd. Repeat after me. I'd. Notice that very soft D. I'd go. I'd go to Tokyo. So if you had to rank the most powerful sense, which would you choose? You can answer that and put it in the comments as well. Over 88% of participants in a 2016 survey ranked vision as their most important sense. So of course, the verb for vision is see, to see, but you see because you have vision. Is this the same sense that you chose for your most powerful sense? Now, to talk about the sense, you could say my vision isn't as clear as it used to be. So clear, if you can see clearly, it means you can see very well. So if your vision is clear, it means you can see, because remember, vision is the sense, but the verb is see. You can see clearly, you can see very well. So that's talking about your vision, the sense. You might discuss this with your doctor, your eye doctor, for example. But you can also talk about the verb that relates to the sense. I can't see as well as I used to. So it is very common to use both. This might be more if you're discussing a medical issue, and then this is just in an everyday context. Followed by hearing. Okay, so hearing is your ability to hear. So of course the verb is to hear, but then the sense is hearing with the ing. So your sense of hearing in a distant second, because remember, 88% of participants chose vision. So that is the vast majority, 88%. So this represents the people who chose vision. And then a distant second, if it's a distant second, it means that hearing came in second place, but it was far behind your vision, which was 88%. This ranking is, of course, commonly used in sports and any competition. You could say our team came in second. So the verb is come in, and then second represents second place. Our team came in second. And then you could add our team came in a distant second, which means you were well below the team that came in first. Let's continue. In fact, taste, smell, and touch. So these are your other senses. Your sense of taste, your ability to taste. So the verb is the same. How does this taste? Your sense of smell. The verb is the same. To smell. How does this smell? Smells delicious. Or your sense of touch. The verb is the same. To touch. How does this fabric feel? Can you touch this fabric? So right now I'm touching the fabric, and then someone might ask, how does this fabric feel? In fact, taste, smell, and touch, the other senses, are often overlooked entirely. That seems true to me because I would think instantly of my sense of vision and hearing. I probably wouldn't think of these senses immediately if I was asked about your most powerful or important sense. So let's take a look at this verb, overlooked entirely. When you overlook something, it means you fail to notice or consider something. Likely just because you forgot or you didn't do enough research or work. So that's why you failed to notice or consider something. So let's say you prepared a report at work and then you presented this report, but one of your coworkers said your analysis in the report overlooked the importance of AI. So your coworker is saying to you that your analysis didn't include the importance of AI, but this is a bad thing. It should have included it. You failed to recognize the importance of this. So your analysis overlooked the importance of AI. This isn't a positive thing.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson.
But touch matters a lot in ways most people don't always recognize. For instance, this is another way of saying for example. It sounds a little more formal, but for example still sounds very professional. But if you are writing a report or you're in a presentation in your IELTS, you don't always want to repeat the same words. And that's why it's good to have this alternative in your vocabulary. For instance, for example, it helps us steer clear of hot stoves. If you steer clear of something, it means you avoid it entirely. So if you're giving a presentation at work, maybe a coworker or your boss advises you and says, make sure you steer clear of, remember, you need steer clear of, and then the topic. Make sure you steer clear of AI in your presentation. So don't talk about AI. Why? I have no idea. It's just because we were talking about AI. So that's the first thing that came to my mind. But for whatever reason, you shouldn't talk about this. Steer clear of it. So that's why your sense of touch is important, but often overlooked, ignored by people. It helps us steer clear of hot stoves, figure out an object's weight and composition, and of course, tap away at. So tap away at is when you are typing. You can also use the verb tap at, and then tap away at sounds like you're doing a lot of typing. Tap away at our smartphones and tablets. In fact, scientists pay close attention to touch when developing futuristic robots and other electronics. Now notice here, you pay attention to something, and then you can add close to make it stronger. This is often used in the imperative, which means your sentence starts with the base verb and it's used to give advice. Pay close attention to your formatting before submitting the report. This is definitely an area of English that students overlook. They fail to notice or fail to recognize the importance of, and formatting represents things such as putting a comma in the right place or a period in the right place or having a capital when you need a capital, having the right amount of spaces between letters. This is extremely important to look professional when you're writing, but students often overlook it. So as advice, I can say pay close attention to your formatting. This is the something before submitting the report. Now, researchers have developed a new electronic skin. So this is that artificial skin that may even be more touch sensitive than human hands. So if it's more touch sensitive, it means that this electronic skin, this artificial skin, is able to detect more with the sense of touch than a human hand can detect, notice, feel. So that would be more, even more touch sensitive than human hands. Or simply said, the sense of touch for this new electronic skin is better or greater than our sense of touch. But the article used the word may, which is only for a possibility. So this new electronic skin may have better or greater sense of touch, but it isn't a guaranteed right now because they use the modal verb may. Let's continue. A team of engineers. Okay. A team of engineers. what would this represent as a subject? Is it I, you, he, she, it, we, or they? There are 5 subjects in English. So what does this, a team of engineers, what is the subject? So put that in the comments. I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. What is the subject? The subject is it, because you would ignore of engineers. This is just a descriptive. The subject is a team. And a team in American English is a collective noun, which means we conjugate it as third person singular. It's the subject, it. Now, even if you didn't know that before I revealed the answer, just simply seeing this S added to your verb should have told you what the subject is, because we only add the S to the present simple verbs for he, she, it. But a lot of times students overlook subject-verb agreement. They fail to notice it. So make sure you don't overlook your subject-verb agreement. It's extremely important. So it hopes, the team, a team, hopes, a team of engineers hopes. Now it uses a instead of the because a is just any team of engineers. If it were the team of engineers, it is talking about a specific team of engineers. But in the world, there are many teams of engineers, so this is just one. So that's why this article is a. A team of engineers, it hopes that it's, so this could have been another clue because right here we have it's, which would represent the subject it. Its super sensitive skin will help ramp up robotics. What does this mean? Ramp up robotics. Ramp up is a phrasal verb that means to increase the speed or quantity of output. Output is how many you produce. So you can produce 10 robots. So if you ramp up robotics, it means you can produce those 10 robots faster, or it means that instead of 10, you produce more. You produce 20. Or it could be a combination of both. You're producing 20 and you're producing them even faster. So that's the phrasal verb ramp up. Is commonly used in a manufacturing sense, but you can use it in an everyday sense as well. We need to ramp up our sales. I need to ramp up my vocabulary. You need to increase the quantity of the words you use. That would represent your output. I wrote those examples for you. So a team of engineers hopes that its super sensitive skin will help ramp up robotics, improve touch screen interfaces, and even help people regain their sense of touch. Okay, so now we're talking about people instead of robots. So this new artificial skin will help people regain their sense of touch. There, because people is the plural of person, and that's why it's using their sense of touch, because we're not talking just about the verb touch, we're talking about your sense. Now, if you regain something, because we add the prefix re before the verb gain, it means you do that action again. So it implies that this person had a sense of touch, lost it, and now will have a sense of touch again. That is regain their sense of touch. So at one point, they had a sense of touch. They were born with a sense of touch. Right now, you might be thinking, I need to rewatch this lesson. Why? Because I'm teaching you a lot and we're moving very quickly. So you watch the lesson, and then if you re-watch it, it means you do that verb again. You watch it again. And notice my pronunciation, because you stress that sound of the re, E. You hear a long E. So repeat after me, re-watch, Rewatch. Very good. I need to rewatch this lesson. And don't worry if you're feeling that way. That's normal. We are learning a lot in this lesson. So absolutely, you should rewatch this lesson multiple times. If you agree with that, then put that's right. You're learning a lot. You need to rewatch this lesson. That's right. Put that's right in the comments. Let's continue. The ability to distinguish between objects based on touch alone, so based on your sense of touch, based on touch alone, has huge potential in the realm of robotics. So if you can distinguish between objects, it means that you have two objects and perhaps the robot can tell this is an apple and this is an orange. Well, how would you do that? Let's say you're blindfolded and you also have no sense of smell. There is plugs. Well, a robot can't smell, I don't believe. So you're blindfolded, no sense of smell, no taste. You're just using your sense of touch. And you know just by touch that this is an apple and this is an orange. That would be you can distinguish. The ability to distinguish between objects based on touch alone has huge potential in the realm of robotics. The realm of, notice that pronunciation, realm, elm, realm. Repeat after me, realm. The realm of simply means the area of robotics. So you have many different areas and we're just talking about robotics. That's the realm of the area of. Notice if you use area, you still need to say the area of, and then whatever the noun is with a plural, because you're talking about all in that group. It could, for example, what was the other word you learned instead of example? It could, for example, it could, for instance, that was your other alternative to example. And of course, the it is the electronic skin, the artificial skin. That is the it. The electronic skin could, for example, for instance, help robot factory workers. So now not the robots, but the workers who work in a robot factory. So these function as adjectives to tell you more about the workers. It could help robot factory workers pack or assemble a huge array of different objects on the fly. Let's look at the pronunciation here. Array, array, a huge array of different objects. You could also say assortment, and same, you need a huge assortment of. And both of these simply mean group of things or people. And it does this on the fly. What does on the fly? Imagine you have to explain to your coworker why your sales aren't improving on the fly. Notice how I just had to create that example for you, and I stumbled a little bit because I had to create that example for you on the fly. If you do something on the fly, you have to do it instantly and without preparing. So if your boss asks you a random question, you have to answer on the fly, immediately, instantly, and you don't have any time to prepare. I know that causes a lot of anxiety for someone when English isn't their first language. Don't worry, it causes anxiety for people in their first language as well. And that's why these articles, these lessons help you improve all areas of your English so you're able to communicate on the fly. Let's continue. It could, what's the it? The artificial skin, the electric skin. It could also improve human control of electronics like e-readers and video game platforms. So these are the examples, and notice they use the word like to share those examples, which is very commonly done. And notice it's using the modal verb could, which is also used for possibility because right now this is not fact that it does improve. It's a possibility. It could improve. It may, again, our modal of possibility, not fact. It's a possibility. It may even enable. Enable is another way of saying allow or permit. It may even enable burn survivors or people who use prosthetics. A prosthetic is an artificial part of your body. So if I lost my arm in a terrible accident, I could get a prosthetic, which would be an artificial arm. To regain, again, now you know what this means, and we have that strong regain a sense of touch. And that would be a very powerful use of this electric skin. The artificial skin requires a bit more work. So this means it's not ready yet. A bit more. This means a small amount of, a bit more work. At the moment, it can't differentiate. So we already talked about differentiate, distinguish, know the difference between. It can't differentiate between hot or cold temperatures. Oh, that would be a very important thing to distinguish, especially if this is being used for humans to replace a prosthetic. But the engineering team, remember, this is conjugated as what subject? It, and that's why we have this S here. It says it should be able to add that capability in the future with relatively little fuss. With little fuss, this is a great expression. It means without much difficulty, trouble, or complication. So if something is done with little fuss, basically it's done easily with little fuss. But with little fuss means without difficulty. So just remember that change between with little fuss, without difficulty. So again, without difficulty means easily. So they can add that capability in the future easily without a lot of difficulty, with little fuss. They all mean the same thing. And that's the end of our article. So what I'll do now is I'll read the article from start to finish, and this time you can focus on my pronunciation. Artificial skin gives robots sense of touch and beyond. If you had to rank the most powerful sense, which would you choose? Over 88% of participants in a 2016 survey ranked vision as their most important sense, followed by hearing in a distant second. In fact, taste, smell, and touch are often overlooked entirely. But touch matters a lot in ways most people don't always recognize. For instance, it helps us steer clear of hot stoves, figure out an object's weight and composition, and of course, tap away at our smartphones and tablets. In fact, scientists pay close attention to touch when developing futuristic robots and other electronics. Now, researchers have developed a new electronic skin that may even be more touch sensitive than human hands. A team of engineers hopes that its super sensitive skin will help ramp up robotics, improve touch screen interfaces, and even help people regain their sense of touch. The ability to distinguish between objects based on touch alone has huge potential in the realm of robotics. It could, for example, help robot factory workers pack or assemble a huge array of different objects on the fly. It could also improve human control of electronics like e-readers and video game platforms. It may even enable burn survivors or people who use prosthetics to regain a sense of touch. The artificial skin requires a bit more work. At the moment, it can't differentiate between hot or cold temperatures, but the engineering team says it should be able to add that capability in the future with relatively little fuss.
Do you want me to make more lessons just like this? If you do, then put let's go in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And this lesson will help you expand your vocabulary, so make sure you watch it right now.